My name's McDowall. For 15 years I worked as a nightclub bouncer in East London. My life was full of crime and violence, but that all changed on one night.
Power now, come on. Here we go, come on. Let's do it. Come on. Let's go, come on. Last set, you can get me on it. Come on, come on. Last set, come on. Come on, come on. Last set, let's go. Come on, come on. Let's go. Come on, let's go. Come on, come on. Up, come on.
Bodybuilding filled a big vacuum that seemed to be in my heart or my life at that time. I remember feeling like my life wasn't worth living. Everything in life seemed, you know, not important. And I remember as a kid, I always had these dreams and hopes that I'd be somebody. And suddenly finding myself unemployed and not being able to get a job and having no hope or future, bodybuilding suddenly filled that gap. And I decided that I would be the best in the world of bodybuilding. I would do whatever I could to win competitions, and you know, and as I was a young man, I started to find myself in newspapers and the bodybuilding magazines and stuff like that, winning trophies and competitions, and it just kind of increased. I kept thinking, you know, I will be the best. The problem of that was I got to a stage where I made a decision to take anabolic steroids. And it was the usage of anabolic steroids that really destroyed my life. It was that got me involved in the doors and the crime. The problem with the door work is there was a massive part of me that enjoyed it. I enjoyed the buzz of having a bit of power on the door. I enjoyed the violence. The downside was when you're going home and you're on your own, and you start to think about yourself. The fear that creeps in, always wondering who's going to come knock down your door, having a contract put out in your life, people telling you they're going to shoot you, and, you know, making enemies, having your car blown up and things like that. You know, there's a fear and a paranoia that works its way underneath that. 6 nights a week in the clubs, East London, all the time working, and so within that, maybe breaking up 3, 4, 5 fights a night, working some of the rougher areas in East London, and that has to have an effect on you, doesn't it? So just being a miserable person generally, really. The more violence you get involved in, the more it doesn't bother you anymore. You know, the more times you hit someone, the less effect it has on you inside, and inside was becoming dark, and I just didn't care. I believe I lost the capacity to love and to be loved. My heart was full of anger and hatred, and I just hated people, really. It's a strange thing looking back. But really, it all came to a head one particular night. I was working in a club in North London, a place I've been working at for a couple of years, where I'd had all sorts of rows and fights every night of the week, made so many enemies in this part of London. Well, this was the night that really changed my life, and I remember it was like a night like any other, and a bit of a rowdy crowd in the back there, and they were tanked up, and you knew that there was going to be a bit of a pain. We'd had our eyes on them, and I knew it was going to kick off, so we went over, and there was about 5 of us working. We got around the guys, we started to move them, saying, listen mate, you know, it's enough tonight. I remember as we got into the foyer, there was kind of the door area, there was some people shouting and swearing, I remember, and it was like suddenly a couple of punches, and as they started to struggle, we started to push them, and then their arms were flying, and next thing, bundled them big time straight out the door. It was kind of a head first job. The doors come crashing open, we sting them out here, smashed them out, and there was about 8 of them, I suppose, about 5 of us. We got them out here off the pavement area, and I remember literally, that's it, you've had enough, guys, and coming back and trying to bomb the doors up so that the night was over, you know. And I remember as we got up to the steps, I told them they'd had enough and to get out of here, and I remember as we got inside, a couple of minutes, and suddenly, bang, bang. So we come barging out. Just at that point that we came out here, a petrol bomb, one of them had filled up and made a petrol bomb and smashed the door, and even though I was 2 weeks away from going to court, I remember, you know, I knew that I had to do something about this. I thought otherwise we're going to get in all sorts of trouble. So, and I see the geezer, I clock him over here in the car park, so I come out in the car park, and here he still is with another petrol bomb straight in his hand, and I remember running up to the car park. He just stood there looking at me as if like, I was out of order. I shouted at him, what are you doing, you know, and he's looked at me, he's gone like nothing, and he's a big tall bloke, and I remember cracking him straight in his mush. He's gone down, and I pulled out the knuckle dust, and I teared into him, and that's when I got all the blood all over me. I remember screaming, what do you mean nothing, you know, you just opened the door, and as I said to you, it was the night that changed my life. I remember going home that night, and initially, I felt proud about what had happened to me. Initially, I felt, I dealt with the situation. I felt good about it. The boys had said, yeah, we done the business. And as I started to drive home that night, that was the night I really started to think about the possibilities of God. But what am I doing? Why am I living like this? What is life all about? Why am I like this? And this was the night I had the gun in the boot, the bat under the seat, I'm covered in blood, I pulled the car over, and I remember saying, Jesus, if you're real, could you forgive somebody like me? Could you change somebody like me? And that particular evening, I felt that love of God that I was telling you about saturate my heart. I felt as if my heart was cracking. My heart had been hard up until this point, and I remember as if it was kind of cracking, and I felt like this love, as if I was being embraced by a father loving me for the first time in my life, and I became a Christian that night. I sat and cried my eyes out, looking at the blood on my shirt. I said, Jesus, forgive me, change me, and my life has never been the same since. That was the night that changed my life. As I started to go to church and as I started to pray to Jesus, I felt the paranoia, the fear, the hatred, the anger. It seemed to leave my heart. It seemed to disappear from me. I seemed to stop swearing. I just didn't feel like I wanted to do the things I used to do. I felt, and I believe I felt like I had the capacity to love again. I suddenly realised that, my family was important to me, and I neglected and abused my family, and I realised that, there was more to life than just selfish gain and ambition. God can restore and change me and the way I think and the way I feel. He can do it to anybody. Ian McDowall is different. I'm different from what I was, obviously, and now I would say I have the ability to love, and that's why I do what I do. I don't believe I'm a do-gooder with nothing better to do than travel the country, sharing my story and telling people about Jesus. I do it because I really believe that Jesus is alive and my heart has been changed. And I can feel his love in my heart. And so Ian McDowall is a different man than what he was.